Well, some headlines crossing the wire from an interview with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on CNBC, saying a government shutdown would be incredibly disruptive. This comes after Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said his party would block a Republican spending bill that could avert a government shutdown and urged the GOP to accept a Democratic plan to provide funding through April 11th instead. Here with the latest, we've got our very own Ben Werschkul. Ben, obviously a lot of headlines to monitor here. I want to talk specifically about that government shutdown. Where are we at? What are you thinking in terms of the likelihood of this shutdown happening?
Yeah, so we've got two competing plans at the moment. We've got the GOP plan, which is a 99-page bill that would avert a government shutdown through the end of September. This is what passed the House earlier this week by basically party line margins, and the Senate is determined to vote on as soon as Friday. The Democrats have countered that the Republicans simply don't have the votes for that. In the Senate, you need 60 votes, and they've countered with a one-month extension that would not have some spending cuts, which are in the GOP plan that are proving a little less popular, at least among Democrats. So those two plans are kind of coming to a head. The schedule at the moment is for a vote on Friday, but this could change at any time as negotiations continue. The bottom line here is that there's only one plan that can avert a government shutdown in time, it seems, which is the House plan that would avert it to September. So there's going to push through a vote there. The question is whether Democrats get an amendment vote on their one-month plan and then accede to the overall plan, or how that plays out. But it's coming in the days ahead, and as the Treasury Secretary's quote alluded to, kind of a least ideal time for markets which are already unsettled, and this is sort of another note of uncertainty for certain on this.
And Ben, another headline to bring you from Treasury Secretary Bessent's remarks. He is saying that when he talked about the government spending requiring a detox, that was not a euphemism for a recession. And I think that ties nicely into your latest article about Trump not caring necessarily less about markets. He just cares about tariffs more. What does that mean in terms of the outlook for markets and for the economy?
Yeah, it means that Trump and his team are much more willing to accept some short-term pain than I think markets were accepting. I tried to write about this yesterday because, as someone who tracked Trump pretty closely during the campaign, it's not super surprising considering he talked up tariffs as his number one priority every day, and that was continued there. But he has shown, in a contrast to his first administration, which I think markets were expecting more of, that he would sort of defer to the markets, he has sort of said, you know what, there's a whole list of different euphemisms they use: detox, little bit of disruption, transition period, all these things that kind of get to a core message here, which is that they're willing to deal with some problems in the short term because they think the long term that the economy will be stronger if tariffs are in place, and if tariffs are in place kind of at a high level for an extended period.